Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Yukon Acres. I was just out here yesterday and I did a lot of flail mowing. As you can see, we opened up the yard a little bit. We got rid of all the tall grass out here. But today we are on a mission. I was able to borrow a grinder with a cutoff wheel from my Uncle Pat, the guy that's building the building actually. So he was able to drop that off this morning and I now have it. But we need to cut the PTO shaft of this Mechmax stump grinder because the PTO shaft, and remember in the last video, was too long. So we need to cut that down. So we're going to do that. And then we're probably also going to use the Artillian land plane and go up and down the driveway a few times because since we did it last time, it's rained a few times and the driveway was in very rough shape to begin with and still needs to be gone over a few times. It's in way better condition than it was with the Artillian land plane. We're gonna keep making that thing look really good. We're gonna be switching implements because I still have the flail mower on the BX, and I'm gonna go to the back 40 and do a little cleaning up before I take that off. But then we're gonna put the stump grinder on, and then the plan is to put the land plane on. So we're gonna be switching implements a lot. In this video, I kind of want to feature the Pat's Easy Change system because boy has that made switching the implements so much easier. So you're going to see that, plus you're going to see a little bit of everything else on this video. I don't know where it's going to go. Stay tuned and find out. You guys can hear me better without the tractor on, so I shut it down for you. Pat's Easy Change system. This is kind of what we're featuring today. This flail mower is not quick hitch compatible, which makes the Pat's Easy Change system work a little bit better than a quick hitch would because I can still get in here and I don't have to worry about the top link. All right, I already took the top link out as you saw, but I don't have to worry about that lining up because that's usually the problem. And if you see, because this is here, I couldn't use a quick hitch if I wanted to. So that's where this Pat's Easy Change system does come really handy. And like I said, it's not quick hitch compatible. All right. Funny thing, in the last video, didn't I mention that you should be checking your pins? Look what's missing, guys. We lost one, right? Should have a clevis pin just like that one. Luckily, the pin didn't come out. I'm gonna have to find another clevis pin. Might have to borrow one off of the tiller. I think I got one over there. I have this sitting. This is how I do this. I set it on two boards. I got a board over there and a board here, and I put a 2x4. I run it across, and then this sits on it. And it's not ideal. It really isn't, but it works. Okay. But check this out. I can use this one-handed. I can open up the pin like this. Not that it matters much with this because as you can see, I can just simply pull this out, right? Then there's a bushing in here that I got to pull out. But that is undone. That's how simple that was, really. The flail mower is not a good example to use to show you how handy the Pat's Easy Change system is. The stump grinder is going to be a lot easier. So once I get ready to hook that up, I'll show you a little bit more. We have to take this PTO shaft out here, at least this half of it. We'll pull that out and we'll figure out how to hook up the rest of this because remember, this is too long. We can't use this yet. It needs to be fixed, so we're going to do that. There's an adjustable spreader bar, so you can put this in. You can put this in and spread this to the whatever distance you want it at. However, I've got these Mechmax 3-point stabilizer arms so they can stabilize the distance I want it at. But so I don't really need that spreader bar because I can adjust the pins. This is a little bit wider. I need to bring this out a little bit wider, and then it will already be at the distance I need it to be. Bring this one out to another notch, right about there. Now I should be able to back right up to it and hook this up. Could have even made it easier. I forgot to do the clicky thing. There you go. See, I had it up, but I can just leave it down and then it just slides down and clicks into place. I'm still learning. I'm still getting used to this. There, those are in. That's how easy that was. Okay, so you're not fighting and trying to line up that eye hole of your 3-point linkage to push that in. That easy chain system does exactly what it is. It makes it easy. It makes it easy to change it out. So now all I have to do is hook up that top link now. And that's not too hard. As you can tell, this top link is not a factory top link. This is a little bit longer than the one that you get with your tractor. And the reason for that is because the Pat's Easy Chain system does make it a little bit, I gotta adjust it. There we go. It does make it stick out a little bit longer. So you might need to get yourself a longer top link. They're not very expensive. You can get a longer top link for like 20 bucks at your tractor supply store. There we go. That worked. So now that's hooked up, except for the bottom PTO, because I need to cut that. So we're gonna go into the building. We're gonna get that cut down, and that's a pretty simple process. I'll show you how that works. All right, we're inside the building now, and I need to measure and cut the PTO shaft, but I don't want to measure it with the extension on. So I'm going to remove the extension, pinch my finger a little bit there. I'm going to remove the extension because I don't want to make the PTO shaft too short in case I want to use it on the 3940. So I'm going to take this off, and when you measure, I'm going to show you guys what points you need to measure from. Let's bring you in a little closer here. When you measure a PTO for how to cut it, you want to measure from this detent right here. This is the detent, right? That little groove is on the PTO shaft. Measure from there to where the detent is over here. And I'm just going to have to kind of eyeball it because I know that the detent is right where these bolts go through, because these bolts hold this PTO shaft on at that detent. So that's what I'm measuring from. And also, I want to make sure that it is level. It's the same height as the tractor. So I'm going to kind of have to eyeball this a little bit, but I think I'm set up right now where it's about level. So I'm going to measure that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at level is the shortest that PTO will become when it's hooked up to an implement, okay? So at level, if it's at an angle, it's a little bit longer. So you want to make it as short, you want to make it as long as you possibly can, but not make it too short. So that's the issue with a PTO. If you want a good video of how I cut one of these, I made a video. I'll put a link to that video down in the description of this video, and you can check it out. I might even link it at the end of the video so you can watch that. It's one of my better videos, actually. It did really well. It gets a lot of views because people are trying to figure out how to measure and cut a PTO shaft. So that's what we're gonna do. Stay tuned. All right, so I just took a measurement using my handy dandy Harbor Freight tape measure, and I figured out that from that detent right here, where those bolts are, to the detent there at this configuration is 35 inches. And we're gonna cut it down to about 32. So we got about 3 inches of play for a couple reasons. Because the stump grinder, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be level or if it's supposed to be at an angle, and I can adjust that with my top link, right? So if I wanted to have that top link extended, that's gonna make my PTO shaft come in a little bit. It's gonna make it come this way, which is going to be closer to the tractor. So if I have 3 inches of play, I won't have to worry about that. Okay, what you really don't want to do is you don't want this PTO shaft binding with the PTO on your tractor, because that would not be good. You will break something and it will be very expensive. So make sure that it's not binding. You have to account for that. All right. So what I'm going to do, I measured it. It's 35 inches. I'm going to take this off now, and it's going to be pretty easy with the Pat's Easy Chain system. And then it's going to be a lot easier for me to cut it. And I'll show you how I do that too. All right, this is so easy. I can do it with one hand. Look at, take the pin and see, this is what it does. It holds that down. Put that in there, and then it stays open. Ha! Isn't that kind of nice? So you do that with both sides, and you're going to notice already that this is kind of getting scraped up, and that's because of my flail mower, which is not PTO, or it's not quick hitch compatible, so it doesn't really work well, and it rubs up here once in a while. It's not doing any damage, just scraping some paint off. It's probably doing more damage to the flail mower itself, but it's minimal. It's nothing to worry about. Okay, I'm going to take this off, like I said, because it's going to be a lot easier to cut. That easy change system is easy. I really like it. There we go. So that fits in first, and then the plastic sleeve slides over, and that is as short as it gets. And if I measure this, that's as short as it gets, and this is telling me that it's about 34 and a half inches is as short as this PTO will go. And even though that's shorter than 35, it's still not short enough to go on, and I don't have enough play for it to be safe. So I'm still gonna cut 3 inches off of this. So it's at 34 and a half, it'll be at 31 and a half inches. And that should work perfect for this tractor. Nothing to it but to do it. Well, guys, we got this one cut off already. 3 inches. Look who showed up to help me. It's good old Uncle Pat. Say hi, Uncle Pat.
Hi, Uncle Pat.
So we're gonna cut this one off 3 inches. I've learned the hard way to keep the camera away from away from a grinder wheel. So you got it marked already?
Where's that?
Look at that, he's set to go. So we're gonna cut the plastic first, and then we'll come back and we'll cut the metal shaft. All right, watch your fingers. So we got 3 inches off of that one shaft that I just showed you. Now we got to take 3 inches off of this one as well. So when you cut the PTO shaft, you have to cut an even amount off of both ends. Otherwise, it won't work. We might have enough power or enough enough left of this grinding wheel to cut through it. Here we go. There we go. Was it measure once and cut 3 times? Is that how it goes?
Usually happens that way if you don't do it the right way.
I'm just going to clean up the edges on this now. There we go. All right. I noticed this is the flat part, so it's got to go on. It's got to go on this way. There we go. Look at that. It's like a glove. Perfect. Now if we remeasure this with my cheap Harbor Freight tape measure, we're going to have that detent to about that detent. I need about another inch there. We got about 31 and a half. Just what we needed. All right, time to hook up the stump grinder using the Pat's Easy Change system. Good thing Uncle Pat is here. He can watch and critique our failures. So we'll hook this back up, and hopefully it works. There you go. And these are slick as snot. They just go down like that. Do it one-handed. There, we're in. There we go. Move on. I have a stump over there we're going to go take care of right now. We'll see if she works. Alright, we're going to give her a shot. Here's the, that's the stump we're going to take care of. It's probably maybe an 8 to 10 inch stump. It was one of those nice little Norway trees. I had to take it out when the building got delivered because the truck couldn't make the turn. So we had to take that tree out. So now we're going to take the stump out. So I'm going to set you guys up right here and you can watch it work. Yeah, I'll come. Oh, sure. Come over to that side.
That's a nice depth on it.
Yeah, it really is. That was one of the reasons I wanted to go with the 24 inch because I think they have an 18 inch too. But the 24 inch will dig a little bit deeper so you can get it down a little further. And I'm just going nice and slow, but that really chips up those stumps pretty good. So I'll come over and we'll make a couple more passes. We'll see if we can make her disappear. Did a heck of a job. Made quick work of that stump. See you later, Pat. Take care. Huh, I'll be darned. Made that whole stump disappear. That's just all gone. It's just gone. Wow. Jeez. All right. A new toy, the Mechmax stump grinder. I wish I had a few more stumps to grind out here. I got big ones back there, but I'm not going to waste my time doing that. My time is limited out here. I got about another hour, and I want to run the land plane, the Artillian land plane, up and down the driveway a few more times. So we're going to go unhook the stump grinder. We're going to hook up the land plane, and then we're going to run it up and down the driveway a few more times. Again, we're featuring those Pat's Easy Change. Boy, does that make changing attachments so much easier. I might need to put the guard on the stump grinder too. Look how far it throws those chips. Holy cow. That's awesome. I love it. Woo! That makes it so nice not to have to wrestle with pins. Really slick. Man, I love that. You guys should get yourself a set. I'll put a link in the description. I'm really liking them more and more the more I use them. Too easy. Well, we had to stop. Here's something you don't see every day, guys. Mama turtle, mama snapper turtle, digging a hole. Just gonna bury some eggs there. It's a big one. Pretty close to the neighbor's house. That's where the neighbor mows grass. I just texted some pictures of the turtle to my neighbor, so he's aware of it. It's right in his front yard. Mama turtle, you might want to find a new spot there. We'll put your egg somewhere else. Promise, that's not a good spot. Wow. That's a big one. Let's go level out this driveway a little better. I can only make a few passes back and forth on this because once again, like always, I'm pressed for time. I gotta get back to the house tonight. Stuff going on this week with family. We'll be back up here in a few days, so we're just gonna do a little bit of cleaning out this driveway, then we're out of here. Took a little break here because I've been up and down the driveway a few times, and as you guys can see, it is already making a nice difference, right? Look at that nice finished grade. We're getting close. We're getting close to almost perfect. There's the Artillian land plane. This thing really does a great job, and it's just the right size for the BX, right? According to my buddy Ed, speed is your friend. Speed is your friend when you're doing the land plane, so I got it in high range, going back and forth a few times. I don't have a whole lot of time left here. I gotta get going. I gotta hit the road. I gotta head back home. Pat's Easy Change system, the stump grinder, the flail mower, the land plane. What more do you want to see, right? You've got to see my Uncle Pat. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Give me a like, give me a comment, and again, our Facebook page, A Ritter Bit Will Do. Check it out and have some fun there. All right, you guys. Until next time, keep on tractoring, and God bless.